Alright, so let's go over the 13 Facebook ad objectives. So it's very important to understand your objective before launch your campaign, because ultimately that's going to serve two purposes. First, it's going to help you set proper expectations for your campaign. So what do I mean by that? So let's say you're running a campaign, like a reach campaign, where you're trying to reach as many people as possible. So with that kind of campaign, you're not going to be so much focused on like the number of sales that you're making. You're more focused on the number of people that you're reaching in that campaign. So by being able to select your objective beforehand, by defining that objective, you already know the type of expectations you want to have for that campaign, meaning that you want to reach as many people as possible. Which also ties into the second part, is that you want to know what metrics you want to be looking at to determine the success of your campaign. So going back to our previous example, if we're doing like a reach campaign where we're trying to reach as many people as possible, we're probably going to pay attention to the number of impressions that we're getting, maybe the number of people that we're reaching, you know, things of that nature, as opposed to like focusing on like how much revenue we generate, or maybe how many clicks that we're getting on that particular ad, because we already know the goal behind this campaign is reach. So we're going to be looking at metrics that align with the reach objective. Just to give you an example. So I think we're going to first start off with talking about the sales funnel, because on the sales funnel is really the framework that's going to help us understand where each of the objectives lie. So we're going to talk about that first. So a sales funnel pretty much just represents the journey your target market takes from becoming a stranger to a customer. So a stranger, so there's people they have like different concepts, different models of the funnel. Usually they break it down to like a top of the funnel, a middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. So the top of the funnel represent people that have never met you before, where you're just trying to build awareness. Middle of the funnel is like people, they kind of know who you are, but you know, you're still building that relationship with them. And then the bottom of the funnel is the people that are your customers, or people that are very close to becoming a customer. So whoops, went a little too far there. So imagine like walking up to someone you never met and asking them to marry you. Just like picture that for a second. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, because the point's going to drive home either way. So just imagine that. And pretty much this is the exact mistake that business owners make when they try to shove their product down everyone's throat. Because what happens is, like, if you're marketing for the first time, what a lot of mistakes business owners do is they'll go and they'll just market a product indiscriminately to everybody and to anyone. And mind you, nobody knows who they are. Nobody cares about them. They don't know you from a hole in the wall. So if you're just putting your product out there and they don't know who you are, I mean, essentially you're setting yourself up for failure. So what the funnel does is allows us to break this down into a logical process. So every Facebook ad objective ultimately falls under one of the three parts of the sales funnel. Where at the top of the funnel you have the awareness, where you have the ad objectives that's focused on getting exposure. Then you have on consideration, which is the middle of the funnel, where your target market begins to actively engage with your business. And then finally there's conversion, where your target market takes a desirable action that leads towards generating revenue for your business. So we're going to take this piece by piece. So we're going to start off with the very top piece, which is the awareness Facebook ad objectives. So awareness Facebook ad objectives is just primarily concerned with them getting exposure. You're not worried about making sales. You're not worried about them like liking or commenting or sharing your posts. It's just simply just putting yourself in front of your target market and letting them know that you exist. So these are generally some of the cheapest ads to run, and you can reach the most people out of all the ad objectives. So as we move deeper down to the funnel, into the middle of the funnel, and eventually the bottom of the funnel, generally speaking, the ad cost is going to rise up, because we are looking for a more specific person. They take a more specific and a much more desirable action. But here, when it comes to the top of the funnel, we can be a little bit more lax as far as the type of people that we reach, because we're trying to reach as many people as possible. So there's two ad objectives that fall under the awareness ad objectives. We have brand awareness and reach. We're going to go over these one by one. So first, let's start off with brand awareness. So the brand awareness ad objectives shows your ad to people who are most likely to remember them. And the primary metric for brand awareness campaign is called the estimated ad recall lift. And this is the number that shows, so this number pretty much shows the number of people that Facebook believes will remember your ad if asked about it in 2 days. So there is a little bit of guessing on Facebook's part, but I mean, for the most part, they do utilize a machine learning inside the ad platform. So it can be fairly accurate, and it kind of gives you an idea in that aspect. So next we have is the reach objective. So this objective focuses on amplifying your message and just getting in front of as many people as possible depending on your budget. So obviously if you have a large budget, you know that you're going to reach a lot more people than somebody with a smaller budget. Or if you're targeting a smaller audience, then you're not going to reach as many people or have the potential to reach as many people as somebody that's targeting like a really large audience, say like 5 million, 10 million people, and so on. So you also can control the frequency in which people see your ads. So let's say if you were running like some sort of limited time promotion, you could have the ad show like very frequently, so that way it could really stay top of mind and really get people to take action. But let's say if you were running some sort of an ongoing campaign, then you may not want the frequency at high. Maybe you want to show it to them like once a week or twice per week, or you don't want to constantly have it in front of their face, because as a result that ad is going to fatigue a lot faster. So that's also something you want to keep in mind. So alright, so we just finished going over the awareness Facebook ad objectives, and from there we're going to go and we're going to pivot over and start talking about the consideration Facebook ad objectives. So at this stage, we're looking for active engagement from our target audience. So they may or may not know you depending on what stage that they're at, but really for this goal, we're just looking for them to take some type of action that we can measure and that's meaningful for our business. Now, Facebook puts this another way by stating that you want to get people to start thinking about your business and look for more information about it. So at this point, they're not quite ready yet to become a customer or to buy from you, but you're helping to lead them down that path. That's where really consideration starts coming in. So this is actually going to be the biggest section out of the 3 sections we're focusing on. As you see, we have a lot of objectives we got to go through. We have the traffic objective, app installs, video views, lead generation, post engagement, page likes, event responses, and messages. So this is going to be a huge section. So we're going to take this one by one. So definitely buckle your seatbelts for that. So the first objective we're going to go over is the traffic objective. So traffic is essentially not a term. It's not like, you know, when you're on the freeway and stuff and you're in line bumper to bumper traffic. We're not talking about that kind of traffic. This is actually a term that advertisers use when it refers to getting eyeballs on your website. That's how advertisers use traffic in this particular context. And the standard unit for measuring traffic to your website is generally link clicks. So generally speaking, the more link clicks that you're able to generate from your ad, the more exposure you're going to get to your website. So it's pretty proportional in that aspect. You get more clicks, you get more eyeballs on your website. You get less clicks, you get less eyeballs on your website. You know what I mean? It's pretty basic in that aspect. Now also another thing too, now if you have the Facebook pixel installed, I recommend, instead of optimizing for link clicks in your traffic objective, to optimize for landing page views instead. Because what happens is when you optimize for a landing page view, pretty much Facebook only counts that if somebody clicks on your link, they go to your website and they wait for your website to actually finish loading and it's able to populate and able to see all the content and stuff. That's what they count as a landing page view. So it could be for any page on your website. So by waiting by optimizing for a landing page view, you're getting a much higher quality person because they're actually waiting for the page to load rather than just clicking on the link and then just bouncing off like after 2 seconds or something like excuse me, or something like that. So next we have the apps installs objective. So using this objective allows Facebook to show your ads to people who are most likely to install your app. So obviously if you don't have an app, you can't really leverage this objective, but if you do have some type of app that you're promoting, this objective would be really right up your alley for you. Now, it is recommended by Facebook that you register your app with the Facebook for Developers site, as well as link your ad account to the app that you want to run ads for. Now, also you want to integrate the Facebook SDK, which is SDK stands for Software Development Kit, and you want to add on specific app events that you want to optimize for, such as installs, app events, or values. And the Software Development Kit is also necessary for measuring and tracking installs, app events, and values. So highly recommended that you integrate that into your app so that way you can accurately measure your results from your Facebook ad campaigns. So the next objective we're going to be starting over. Oh, I thought I skipped one for a sec. So yeah, so the next one we're going to be going over is called the video views objective. Now, the video views objective essentially optimizes your ads to get the most plays on your videos. But I do want to make it clear that there are other objectives that support video views, so you don't necessarily have to use video views to get views on your video. But with this particular objective, it optimizes for that and it gets the most possible views on your video. Now, you have 2 options when it comes to optimizing for video views. You have something that's called a through play, and you have another one that's called a 2-second continuous video play. So for throughplay, I should say, it optimizes your ads for people who will watch at least 15 seconds of your video or the entire video, depending on what comes first. Whoops. So now if you have like say like a minute video or 2-minute video or something to that effect, then really a throughplay is going to be somebody that watches at least 15 seconds of that video. Now if it's less than 15 seconds, then a throughplay would just be somebody who watches 100% of your video. So it is a much higher quality traffic as opposed to a 2-second continuous video view. So as you can see, with a 2-second continuous video play, it optimizes the ad for people who watch your video for 2 continuous seconds or more. And in most cases, at least 50% of the video pixels will be in view. So these are two totally different things. So before I get to lead generation, I do want to say that when it comes to the 2-second continuous video play, now you are able to get a lot more video plays with the 2-second as opposed to the through play, because like as you can see, only 50% of the video pixels needs to be on the screen. But what happens is you get a lot. It's not as quality of a view as opposed to like a through play where they watch at least 15 seconds. So it's really just a matter of quantity, which is a 2-second, versus quality, which is a through play. So something that you want to keep in mind. So next we're going to go over the lead generation objective. So the lead generation ad objective is specially designed to capture contact information from your potential customers. So you can even ask custom questions that are relevant for your business as well. So as you're collecting the information, you may have pertinent questions you may want to know about them. So that way you can pre-qualify them for a particular product or service that you may have. So it's really powerful in that aspect. So here's a few ideas for using the lead generation objective. You can use it to find new customers for your business. You can also get people to enroll into a program that you have, as well as getting people to download some type of brochure or a lead magnet or something like that. The lead generation objective would be perfect for something like that. So next we have the post engagement objective. Now with post engagement, this pretty much targets people who are most likely to engage with your posts. So it's a good idea to use this objective, in my opinion, when you have a post that's already performing well organically. It's already getting like a lot of likes, a lot of hearts, a lot of comments, things like that. And then once you see that it's already getting some good traction on an organic perspective, then you can use a post engagement to just help to amplify that reach and just get in front of more people. You can also purchase engagement for pennies on the dollar and reach dozens of new people. That's one thing I really like about the post engagement objective. It's not a very expensive campaign to run, and you can get engagement very easily and for very cheap. So next we're going to go over the page likes objective. So the page likes objective. Now the thing is, page likes used to be a big deal back in the day. Like when Facebook was still like in its infancy and it was still maturing as a platform, page likes used to be a really huge deal. So if you had like a lot of likes on your page and you made a post, it could potentially get in front of hundreds if not thousands of people, depending on the amount of likes that you have. But at a basic level though, page likes do serve as some sort of social proof for your business. So if people come to your page and they see it's got like 50, 60, 100, couple of hundred likes, you know, they're going to think that your page looks a lot more credible as an actual business or brand, as opposed to if you just have a page that has like 1 or 2 likes. For some people that can look a little bit sketchy. So it is necessary to have likes to a certain degree, but just getting thousands and thousands of likes just for the sake of it, you know, like I said, the benefit just isn't there like it used to be. Now, when you optimize for likes, Facebook's going to show your page to people who might be interested in your content or your business. So it does involve like creating like a compelling ad, because you want to give people a reason to like your page. But Facebook on its part will also find people that have similar interests to the type of page that you have. So Facebook will help you out in that aspect. So next we have is the event responses objective. So the event response objective shows your ad to people who are likely to be interested in your event. Now, before you can use this ad objective, it's important that you create a Facebook event beforehand. Otherwise, you won't be able to create an ad objective because you won't have anybody to respond to an event because there's no event that's created. So make sure that you create your Facebook event beforehand before you decide to use this ad objective. And also keep in mind that event response ads only work on Facebook. You can't run them on Instagram or the Audience Network. It's only on Facebook. So that's also something you want to keep in mind when you're utilizing this objective. Next we have is the messages objective. Now, this objective was officially announced by Facebook back in September 2017, and it offered a new way for advertisers to connect with customers by opening conversations with them. Super powerful. Just think about it. Over 2 billion messages are already sent between businesses and people on Facebook each month. So being able to put your message in there where people are already actively engaging and, building community around, you can really make for a very powerful and very profitable campaign. Now, there's also a variety of use cases when it comes to utilizing Messenger ads, just to kind of give you some ideas here. Now, you can obviously use it for generating leads. So you can have somebody give you their contact information, and in response, you can give them some type of lead magnet or ebook or a video or something valuable to them. You can also use it for answering questions as well. So if you can run an ad where people may have commonly asked questions about your product or service, you can utilize the Messenger because it's more of an intimate, more one-on-one interaction as a way to just kind of help your audience and get them to overcome any objections or any setbacks that they may have in regards to your product or service. And there's also driving transactions as well. So if you may have someone that may have looked into one of your products and maybe they didn't exactly pull the trigger yet, you could run a messages ad where you go and you shoot them a message, maybe answer any questions that they have, and ultimately lead them to that point where they decide to make an order with your business. And there's also providing support as well. Like if you want to go, like I said, like people are already constantly utilizing Messenger all the time. So you can go and you can utilize Messenger as a platform to provide support, to answer questions, overall just to help your target market out and whatever they need help with. So next, now we're going to go over the conversion Facebook ad objectives. So we're almost at the end, guys. We're in the final part of the funnel, so hope you're excited about that. Conversion ad objectives optimizes for people who are most likely to take a desired action. Now, this desired action is kind of dependent on the type of campaign you're running. It could be either for making a purchase, starting a free trial, visiting a store, or more. Just to give you an idea, it's all about taking a desirable action when we're talking about conversion ads. So generally speaking, these people are going to be at the bottom of your funnel. They're either going to be a customer, there's someone that's already done business with you, or there's someone that's very close to doing business with you as well. They just need like a little bit of a nudge, just a little bit of a nudge forward to get them to become a customer, but they're just very close at that point. They already know you, you've already built some trust, you already built some rapport. Now with conversion ads, you're able to seal the deal. Now, these are also the most expensive objectives that you can run right here, because these are bottom of the funnel. You're dealing with a small subset of people and you want them to take a highly desirable action. So as a result of that, Facebook is going to charge a premium on these particular objectives, but they do produce some of the highest returns in your ad spend. So the benefits certainly do outweigh the costs. So there's 3 conversion ad objectives that we're going to be going over. We have conversions, which was not very creative on their part, catalog sales, as well as store traffic. So we're going to go over each one of these objectives one by one. So the first objective we'll be going over is a conversions objective. So you already kind of went over what conversions means. This is just on Facebook showing your ad to people who are likely to take a very specific action. So that action is obviously going to depend on the type of campaign that you're running, but there are a bunch of different events that you can optimize for. So for example, you can optimize for purchases, where Facebook shows your ad to people who are likely to make a purchase, or it could be for any other type of a desirable action. Now, in order to use this objective, you must have the Facebook Pixel installed on your website. You cannot use this without this. So if you haven't already installed the Facebook Pixel on your website, I highly recommend doing that or looking up. I mean, there's plenty of information out there as far as installing the Facebook Pixels, but if you want to run conversion ad objectives, it's very important that you have the Facebook Pixel installed on your website. And next we have catalog sales. Catalog sales. Now, we touched about this before on the previous video, but this objective is really just for people that have physical items that they wish to sell on Facebook, like an e-commerce store. So if you're not selling any sort of physical items, I mean, you can safely skip past this objective because it's just not going to be useful for you right now. Also, now before you can use this objective, it's important that you create a catalog within Facebook. Now, catalog is just a container that holds information about items in your inventory. And we did talk about the catalogs a bit before in the previous post in this series, so you might have some familiarity with it already. And also, to streamline this process when it comes to creating catalogs, Facebook natively integrates with certain e-commerce platforms like WooCommerce, which is a plugin for WordPress, Shopify, 3D Cart, and a couple of others that are available. But they help to make this process very easy for you if you're using any one of these platforms. Now, after you've added your catalog to Facebook, you can also create product sets using different items from your catalog, which helps to control the types of ads that appear in your catalogs when you're running these ads. But at a very minimum, each product set needs to contain a minimum of 4 items, or else there's a chance that your ad isn't going to deliver. Next, we're going to go over the store traffic objective. Now, if you have multiple physical locations, like you have multiple locations that you run your business, the store traffic objective helps to drive foot traffic into your stores, which as a result can help boost sales for your business. Now, a store can be any physical place. It doesn't have to be an actual store. It could be like a shop, a restaurant, a dealership, a gym, etc. So, store is more of a catch-all term for any type of physical location that you do business from. Now, if you do have just one store though, because maybe you might be one of those people who you don't have multiple locations, you just have one location, what Facebook would recommend instead is to use a reach objective instead. Because if you use a reach objective, it's a lot less work, because now you don't have to set up trying to create like multiple stores and stuff. So if you just have one store, you're better off using a reach objective. And coming up next, we're going to talk about how do Facebook ads work. So super excited about that. Hope you guys are as well, because I know Facebook ads can seem a bit crazy and stuff. We just went over a ton of different objectives, but now we're really going to dive into the nitty-gritty about how do Facebook ads work. So definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon so that way you can be part of the notification squad, and that way you'll be able to get notified as soon as the next video drops. I'm really enjoying making this video series, and I hope that you're getting a lot out of this. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon. Also, just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you got some value out of this. Now, you're going to see 2 videos appear just below the thanks for watching. These are 2 additional videos that I think that you might be interested in. So definitely, if you want to get some more content from me, definitely check those out. See if you like it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. This is Jacob Laguerre. Just want to thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.